Hey, welcome. Today we're going to talk about something that might just completely change your relationship with money. It's a philosophy called Kaizen, and it's all about nurturing your financial life, but doing it in a way that feels good, one tiny, gentle step at a time. So let me ask you this. Does the whole topic of managing your money ever just feel overwhelming? You know, that wave of stress or anxiety that hits when you think about budgets or savings? If you've ever felt that, you are definitely not alone. It can feel like this massive, complicated problem with no clear solution. But what if we just changed the metaphor? What if instead of a battle you have to win, your finances were more like a garden, something you could nurture, something that doesn't need some radical, stressful overhaul, but just a little bit of gentle, consistent care to really flourish? So let's start right there by shifting our whole mindset. This is all about creating a new and honestly a much healthier relationship with our money. Think about it. The traditional way we're often taught is all about these huge, radical changes, cut out everything you love. And what happens? It just leads to stress and then guilt when you can't keep it up. But the Kaizen way, it's the total opposite. It's all about small, manageable steps that build a sense of calm and control. The goal here is consistency, not intensity. Okay, so what exactly is this Kaizen philosophy that can make such a big difference? Let's break down the actual concept. Kaizen is a Japanese term, and it basically means change for the better or continuous improvement. But here's the key. It's not about making one giant leap. It is all about making tiny, consistent, positive actions that, over time, add up to huge, lasting change. It sounds gentle, and it is, but it is incredibly powerful. All right, this is where it gets really good. We're gonna move from the idea to the action. I'm gonna walk you through a super simple 3-step loop that you can literally start using the second this is over. So here's the cycle. It's so simple. First, you observe gently without any judgment. Second, you find an opening, just one little place for positive change. And third, you take a tiny step, an almost ridiculously small step. And then you just do it again. Let's dig into step 1. Observe gently. Now, this is not about shaming yourself. It's just about paying attention. So maybe you track only your coffee spending for a week, or you just take 2 minutes to write down 3 to 5 words about how money makes you feel. The absolute key here is no judgment. You're just a scientist gathering data. Okay, on to step 2. Find an opening. There's a concept in Kaizen called muda, which just means waste. So the question is, where can you find a tiny bit of muda? And listen, we are not talking about some massive budget cut. We're talking about $5. That's it. Maybe it's an app subscription you forgot about or a single late fee you could avoid next time. Just $5. And that brings us to step 3. Take a tiny step. A perfect example of this is not, I will save $1,000. No, it's, for the next 7 days, I'm gonna put $1 single into a jar. See, it's not really about the dollar. It's about building the muscle, the habit of saving, and feeling that little win every single day. I'm serious. This is the scale we're talking about. $1. An action so small it feels almost silly, right? But that's the magic. By making this step that easy, you completely remove the friction and the resistance to getting started. Anyone can do that. Now, to make sure these little changes actually stick around, it really helps to understand the why behind our habits. And Kaizen has this brilliant little tool for that. It's called the 5 whys. So let's do a quick fire round. We'll start with a common habit. Why do I buy that expensive coffee every morning? Well, the first answer is easy. Because it feels like a treat. Okay, fair enough. But why? Why do I need that specific treat at that specific time? Well, because my mornings are kind of stressful, and it's a little moment of calm before the chaos begins. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So why does that moment of calm have to be that expensive coffee? Because really, it's not just the coffee itself, the cafe. That's the habit. It's a little mini escape from my routine. And why is that mini escape so important? Well, now that I think about it, maybe it's because I don't really build any other moments of calm into my morning. And the final question, why not? Because I tend to rush around and feel unprepared in the morning. And boom, there it is. The problem isn't the $5 coffee. The root cause is using a purchase to manage the stress from a rushed morning. Now you can solve the actual problem. So taking those tiny steps is how you start. The next part is all about building that momentum and turning these little actions into a real, sustainable practice.
So, a week in your life might start to look something like this. And you'll notice none of these things are earth-shattering. Move $1 on Monday, pack your lunch on Tuesday, find a free activity for the weekend. It's all about weaving these small, positive choices into your daily rhythm until they just become automatic.
And this is just so important to get. With Kaizen, we're not celebrating the dollar amount, not at first. We are celebrating the effort and the consistency. Did you stick to your tiny little plan 5 out of 7 days this week? That is a massive win, because that's what builds the habit. And trust me, the financial results will follow that. So let's bring it all home and just take a look at the big picture of what this kind of journey really feels like. If you take away one thing, let it be this. This is not about forcing change through sheer willpower and stress. It's about realizing that you have the ability right now to gently nurture your own prosperity, to patiently cultivate it over time, just like a garden. So I'll leave you with this one question. Forget about the huge, scary goals for just a minute. Right now, what is one tiny, gentle, almost effortless step you could take to start tending to your financial garden?
Small steps today, greater financial freedom tomorrow. Begin your 1% journey toward greater financial clarity, deeper connection, and stronger trust. One intentional choice at a time. At the 1% Edge, we believe that real transformation comes from steady momentum, not massive leaps. Whether you're working on financial growth, emotional healing, strengthening your relationship, or improving communication, our guides are built on the timeless principle of Kaizen. You don't need to change everything, you just need to begin. Ready to take that first step? Your copy of the Financial Growth Guide is just a click away. Get started now, download below.